Crooked House in the Black Country in Himley, Staffordshire, was built in 1765 and was originally a farmhouse on Oak Farm. During the 19th century, coal mines were established in the Black Country, and the Earl of Dudley owned the substantial Himley colliery in the area surrounding the pub. Mining beneath the building caused one side of the building to begin gradually sinking until one end of the building was 4 feet 1.2 metres lower than the other, leaning at an angle of 15 degrees. The building was turned into a pub in 1830 and was originally named the Glyn Arms, after the Glyn baronets who owned the estate on which it was situated. It was known locally as the Siden House, Siden meaning crooked in the Black Country dialect. In 2002, the pub was officially renamed the Crooked House, which had been its long-standing collectoral name. Although strengthened by buttresses by the mid-1910s, the building was condemned as unsafe in the 1940s and was scheduled for demolition. Wolverhampton and Dudley breweries purchased the pub and in 1957 made the structure safe using steel tie rods and strengthening buttresses, investing £10,000, which is equivalent of £256,495 as of 2021 in doing so. In 1986, the pub was damaged by a fire and it only affected the first floor and the roof. The following year, the brewery spent £360,000, equivalent of £1,077,275 as of in 2021, on renovations. The building's leaning walls gave rise to optical illusions, as with a gravity hill. These included objects seemingly rolling uphill along the pub's dado rails and bottles appearing to roll upwards along tables. Furniture and fixtures appeared not to hang plump, including the grandfather clock and the chandelier. In the 1970s, the landlord claimed that the novelty of the pub brought visitors from as far as China, Russia, Japan, and the United States, along with other countries such as Canada. The building known as Britain's Wonkiest pub was put up for sale for $675,000 in March 2023 as a going concern. On the 25th of June, it was the subject of a burglary, causing over £10,000 worth of damage to the bar, kitchen and toilet areas. On the evening of the 5th of August 2023, a fire gutted the pub's interior and destroyed part of the structure, including the roof. No people were reported injured in the fire. Less than 2 days after the fire, the pub was demolished. Protests went up all around the Black Country, and it's been deemed as terrible that Britain's Wonkiest pub is no longer there and was demolished unlawfully. Bricks to the pub have now been stored, and it is said that one day the pub could be rebuilt. Everyone is hoping it can be. Hello and welcome to CJC Adventures. Carl here, and Craig's with me today, and it's with great sadness and sorrow that we've come back to the Crooked House. It's not here anymore. It's been well documented, hasn't it, on the news, on central news, local news, papers, and on main news as well. And we all know what happened to the Crooked House. obviously caught fire and was later knocked down. We're just going to pay our respects today, me and Craig, and hope that it will get rebuilt one day, fingers crossed. So let's just go and pay our respects here at the remains or no remains of the crooked house. Well, that's the way into it, eh? Well, that's the only way to it, eh? That's the only... No. There's the river. It actually used to run right the side of the crooked house, that did. It does run that way now. But there's an old picture somewhere where it was right, looked like it was right up against the pole. Could have been one of the beer barrels from the pub, couldn't it? More than likely was, because the only pub what was down here, wasn't it? What lather, eh?
The back right up to...
Washing up liquid, eh?
Right up to here,
Wait. Wait, it looks lovely, don't it? Another beer barrel, look. That's cider, eh? Do the point. That's where that woman jumped off out.
Oh yeah,
Blonde woman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can probably still see a ghost around here, I imagine, because, as I say, I'd actually go in the pub. It was always round these parts. Yeah. I reckon they jumped off or was pushed off.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is the other side of the bridge, and as you can see, actually started to rain quite heavy now. The river's pretty high, pretty dangerous. Wouldn't recommend it really, and the crooked house was just down here. This is where the pub used to be. As you can see, it's all railed off there. Not much to see at all. It used to say the crooked house just there on the sign. That's all been removed, that's all gone. As you can see, it's a nasty day and it probably suits the environment we're in at the moment. I don't know if they can go any further. This is where we are at the moment. You can just see where it once stood, just there in the middle, and that was the gate. You see the sign there, crooked house, food, beer garden, children's play area. Let's just hope one day they will rebuild it and maybe we can have our wonky pub back once more. You can still see that like well-type building just there beyond the gate and the tent at the back, and you can just see where the remnants of the pub once stood. It does actually look quite different when you see it in real life to when it does on the news, on the telly, how documented it's been. It's so sad to see, it really is. I mean, seeing it like this is awful, awful. You know, you never imagine in your lifetime that you would see an iconic pub like this, actually like this, and it's so sad to see. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that one day they use the bricks and just rebuild it. Build it wonky, that's what I say. It's a nasty day today, as I mentioned, but just seeing that it's wicked to see. Oh, goodbye to the crooked house. Hopefully we'll rise from the ashes one day. Looks so different round here now. Doesn't look the same place, to be fair. Even though this is obviously all the same road and everything. It just looks so different. So unusual to see. Well, Last time I come here it was a thriving pub, and now it's just unbelievable to see. It really is. It's like a bad dream to see, really. But from nightmares become good dreams, and hopefully that'll be the case. And just there you can see the mound of soil that was actually dumped there to stop the fire brigade from getting to the pub when it was on fire. Been moved across now. That was actually in front of those gates leading up to the pub. Very spooky down this area. Look at this other old bridge. Especially on a day like this. And that's it for today on CJC Adventures on a horrible day in the Black Country. And it's a sad goodbye to the crooked house. Rest in peace, Wonky Pub. We're going to miss you. Hope you can rise from the ashes one day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe, please share, and until next time, look after yourselves and each other. Goodbye for now.